I'm going to screw this up. I know I am. Piotr Michael. Is that correct?
Yeah, you got it, man.
Wow. I was working. I was really working on it all weekend. I'm not, because thankfully on your website, you have a little box that says how to pronounce my name.
I put that in because, exactly for this. I started getting a lot of people going, we got to cancel the interview. Sorry, we can't pronounce your name.
Let me tell you how you came on my radar. So I'm a big Star Trek fan, and there was a trailer that came out 6 months ago or something about this new Star Trek game, Star Trek Renegades, I believe. And I'm watching the trailer.
Star Trek Resurgence.
Resurgence, that's right. Renegade's another thing. And I'm watching it, and of course I'm in love with it already. But there's it's about a new ship, new crew, whole new story in the Star Trek universe. But there's a couple of cameos. One is William Riker, who's played by Jonathan Frakes, and Ambassador Spock. As soon as Spock opens his mouth, for about 5 seconds, I'm like, did Nimoy record this before he passed away? How could this even happen? Because the company wouldn't even start. Like, it was so close to Nimoy. And so then I got obsessed with finding out who this voice actor was. And so I'm scouring the internet, and it wasn't available for a while. And then eventually I found out who it was, and it was you. You did Ambassador Spock on the Star Trek game. Might I say,
hearing
fantastic.
You say that, I don't even believe it.
It's fantastic. Let me tell you the three things I loved about it. Not only did you capture Nimoy, he captured Nimoy as Ambassador Spock in, I would say the J.J. Abrams movies. This is where you have to be a good actor, right? You tell me, but you get the script, you're going to do sort of a Leonard Nimoy impression, but now you have to look at that script and say, all right, now how would Spock, this iteration of Spock, do it? And that's where your acting skills come into play, would you say?
Absolutely. And my gosh, it was so exciting to do the role, but also very intimidating because he's such a legendary character. And exactly that. When I get the script, I go, whoa, what's going on? This takes place shortly after the TNG timeline. So he's been an ambassador for a little bit, not quite J.J. Abrams, so he's not as old, but he does have a little more humanity after living with humans for so long. So he's got a little bit of that, but he's very much Spock. And the writing was so excellent that it was pretty effortless to kind of switch my brain into Spock mode so that everything was on the page. I didn't have to invent anything. And it was just a joy to record.
Now, as you're recording this, are you thinking to yourself, because, sometimes Star Trek fans could be a little ruthless if you get it wrong, how could you, and, this kind of thing. Is that going in your head while you're recording these?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't say the whole session, but before the session, starts, I get nervous and I go, what's going to happen? And, I hope it's good. And what was so incredible and wonderful was that after the game came out, folks like you started reaching out and, just giving me compliments, and more than almost anything I've done, which is incredible for me because I'm a fan of Star Trek, and to be able to capture and channel Leonard Nimoy and his character, has been such a profound gift for me to experience, and has led to a lot of other projects that are in the works and adjacent and inspired by that opportunity. So it's been incredible.
Your attention to detail is also incredible because my number 3 of why I think you did so great on this is as Nimoy got older, you can tell somebody gets dentures or bridges or something, the way they say certain S's or, those kind of words changes.
His teeth start falling out.
Yes, just like that.
He starts losing his breath because after years of smoking, it starts getting to him, and then that's too old.
So you got to bring it back.
And a lot of the work that I did as Leonard Nimoy was simply learning to speak as him. And then you have some artistic license because you do have to embody this character. You can't focus so much that you're doing an impersonation, because also that will trap you. Because if you focus only on doing an impersonation, you will only say things a certain way based on what came before. And you don't know how to approach any other line. And for example, I'm improvising now, just talking to you as Leonard Nimoy.
Incredible.
How am I able to do that? It takes a lot of practice, and I've got to, focus.
When I was younger and I did a lot of impressions, I would just repeat the same, famous line.
What's up,
or
Doc,
situation.
or whatever. Yeah.
Of course. And you can get stuck in a trap of not actually being able to embody. So acting above all is most important, not just being able to mimic somebody's 1-2 lines,
Now, Nimoy was on this show, 2011, something like that. I've got a clip from it, his liner that he did for us. And just so people can compare how close your voice is to his, this is him saying, I don't know, something for the show.
Hey, this is Leonard Nimoy. You're listening to Michael Zavala.
This is...
I mean, incredibly.
Hey, this is
close.
Leonard Nimoy. You're listening to Michael.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So that's what I noticed right off the bat.
Just like my good friend Leonard. That's Leonard.
You could do a whole convention by yourself.
Absolutely. You don't have to hire me. We're doing a cruise at the end of this year. And we're going to see down in the Arctic. We're going to go and visit I've been to outer space. So now where else is there to go? I've got to go down to where it's nice and cold. And when it gets cold down there, I got to bundle up.
Incredible.
I'm going crazy.
I went back and looked at your YouTube, and you've been doing these voices forever. Was that always the plan?
I had a strong interest in film, and I was interested in animation. I wanted to be a character designer and animator. And so that came from my dad, who went to film school, and I was attracted to that. And I didn't want to do acting because my dad wasn't a professional actor, but he did like regional theater stuff and worked with kids. And it was just like, that's what Dad does. I'm not going to do any of this. But over time, I felt more magnetism towards acting because I consumed so much animation. And I realized I liked embodying these characters. And it was quicker to animate myself than to animate on paper. And so that took over. And I was like, wow, this is cool. I seem to have a knack for impressions. And I just assumed everybody else could do it. But no, it just became my self-obsession. And over time, I realized, hey, there's people interested in this, and this could be a, career. So might as well dip my toes and see what happens.
What was your favorite impression to do when you were younger? What was the go-to when you're at a friend's
Great
house?
Scott, Marty, we got to get back to the year 1985.
But Doc, 1985, we're in 1985.
No, Marty, we went inside a time machine in 1955.
Wait a minute, no, Doc, you're missing. That's not how the movie is. You're in 1985, I'm in 1955.
I'm all confused. The space-time continuum, the Spider-Verse is opened up and all.
I was doing Christopher Lloyd so early on, and I would do him obsessively, like when I was 12, 13, and I don't know how good it was, but it trained me to do a fake old man voice.
Yeah.
Because he's got
a very jowly thing. And Christopher Lloyd is a living cartoon, but it works for that world. And that voice led to so many other voices.
Because, for example, Christopher Lloyd talked like this, and after, Lord of the Rings came out, I started adding a British accent, and there we go, Sir Ian McKellen, Gandalf the Grey, and later the White.
And so it all became clear to me that I was obsessed with films, and I would walk out of a movie after an hour mimicking whoever was there. I remember Jurassic Park. Yes, of course, we love Jeff Goldblum, the wonderful, sultry, very, very particular and exciting. They would... they'd enter my mind, and I couldn't get them out. And it was, I don't know, it was like collecting Pokemon cards because as soon as I got one, I got addicted. I was like, we'll see what else I can do. I got to get them all.
Yeah. See, at least your impressions were timely. Mine was I think my first impression was Jimmy Stewart from It's a Wonderful Life, and that was it.
No,
that was my go-to.
That's all I did as well. I am a kindred spirit. I grew up watching Turner Classic Movies, so the same time as doing that, I would go around the house talking like Cary Grant. Yes, that was me, Cary Grant. Hey, dollface, look at you. You're beautiful. Why don't you come upstairs? Let's build a treehouse.
And yeah, of course, Jimmy Stewart as well. You know, we would extend words as long as we could. Those guys were such incredible characters, you know, and that's what's missing in a lot of contemporary film, because, you know, we are looking for people that we can relate to better. And so when we see Jimmy Stewart, like, we don't know anybody like that. Nobody talks like that. But it's so fun for me.
Right.
And now in contemporary films, there's not many actors as distinct as that. They're much more subtle. They're still great personalities, but they're, you know, you've got to dig a little deeper to find those guys now.
So you start doing voices for a living now, and now you're, you know, voicing animation and TV shows and things like that, narration. Is there an actor that you worked with that you got starstruck with?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I mean, you mentioned Rob Paulson. I met Rob Paulson, Frank Welker. I did one little tiny thing on the remake of Animaniacs, and I was sitting next to them and just like going, "Oh my God, I grew up with these guys."
Yeah,
you know, and yeah, working with them was fantastic. And I didn't work with Tom Kane, but we shared the same manager, and I met him at a party, and it was just incredible because he was so down to earth and so welcoming and warm and such great advice. But he was the closest to what I was aspiring to do.
Yeah.
And so I really honored Tom Kane's career and what he did. And I even, people would nickname me Tom Kane Jr.
Wow.
And I always
what
took
a high
that
honor.
with a great pride. Yeah, because Tom Kane is legendary actor.
I'm wearing an Animaniac shirt, not knowing that you know, you did anything on the reboot, which by the way, was fantastic.
Yeah, they did a great job.
You know, we were going to have you on last year, but like the day before you were supposed to be on, everyone went into the strike, and you know, Hollywood strike started.
That's right. Yeah.
What I still don't know a lot about, and maybe you can educate me on this, is the whole AI, especially when it comes to voice acting. How are you guys a little bit more protected now because of this new deal, or?
Yeah, we're a little more protected, but I can't say that it's not exactly what we wanted. You know, a lot of folks were picketing saying no AI at all.
Right.
Now there are protections in place so that when studios do use AI, they have a buffer. So it's like, all right, you know, some actors will be able to consent and say, yes, you can use my voice, but you have to pay for it, and there's limitations and that sort of thing. So there are protections now. I don't necessarily agree with it completely, but it's better than it was, which was zero protections at the start.
Right.
So within the next 3 years, AI might be much more profoundly a part of the entertainment industry and more apparently in everybody's lives, that they will go for even more protections. But now it's an interesting time, because I could be honestly out of a job in 5 years.
Right.
You know, based on, you know, whatever they want. The studios can say, you know what, we're not doing union anything. We're going to go and do this. But right now it's still a little up in the air. There are a little protections in place, what we fought for, which is good, and we're back to work. But you know, I do see there is you know, not immediate lack of work for actors right now, but for example, in video games, a lot of artists are being laid off. If you've seen like Riot Games or Blizzard Games, if you just type in some recent news, thousands of jobs gone. There's not any direct reasoning, but I would say AI is a big contributor to that, because if it takes, you know, 50 artists to complete one sequence or one idea or whatever, if they can do that with one AI, one or two creative directors, you know, manipulating, controlling that, then they can save a lot of money. And so executive stockholders up top, they look down and go, how can we cut costs so that we can get, you know, maximize profits? That's the sad thing. But that's across the board for anybody who has a job anywhere.
Right.
It's happening. It's being implemented. So there are protections, but I think it's such a big and fast moving, you know, asteroid that we can only we can only
hope it misses all of us.
What will happen.
Yeah. Now, for those who haven't played the Star Trek game, by the way, I played it 100%. I got the little platinum trophy.
Great, fantastic!
I want to get my money's worth out of it. So, for those who don't know or haven't played that game, you will know his voice because he is the voice of President Joe Biden on the Jimmy Kimmel Show.
Folks, America's in a very tumultuous time. Folks, here we do. Hold on a second. Take a mini nap. All right, I'm back. I'm back. America, Rip Van Winkle, your president, is back. It's the year 2029, right? Oh, I got to do this whole election thing. Folks, I don't have the energy. Of course you don't have the energy. Look at this guy. This guy is very nasty. Very nasty. He said some nasty things about me. He said nasty things about yours truly, your favorite orange guy. Very orange, by the way. Orange has a lot of vitamins. People don't talk about that. Touch me, smear my face on all your babies. Trust me, you're going to get a lot of great vitamins.
That's incredible. I just want you to do all the debates. Just you.
Oh, it's hard. It's hard to do political guys, not because they're inaccessible, but it's just... It kind of crushes your soul a little bit. Unless you find a fun angle and you can play with it. I had to stop doing a lot of it because it was just, especially doing Trump was just like, I don't want to live with this every day. I'd like to talk about other stuff.
And then it also, like, at some point, you're not really making jokes anymore because it's all the truth. Like, you can't make anything funnier than what's actually happening.
I once did a stand-up set where I did Donald Trump literally saying what he said. And then I was like, I don't know how to exaggerate this more. So I said crazy, horrible things. And people at the end of the show were shaking my hand like, that's our president, man. Did a great job. And I'm like, okay, all right. Well, we're shifting. Where people are, got different appreciation. So, different time.
I saw on your Instagram you did a whole Seinfeld thing, and your Kramer is fantastic.
That was me doing Al Pacino as Kramer.
Oh, it was Al Pacino. So obviously, I was watching with the volume off.
They did a switcheroo,
and I did Al Pacino as Kramer. Hey, Jerry, look at this.
It was one of those face swap things. No, Michael Richards is. I'm trying to think. I'm immediately going to Christopher Lloyd. Great Scott, Jerry. We got to get down to the diner. They got some extra cream cheese. Wait a minute, Doc. It'd be Michael J. Fox as Seinfeld.
Yeah, what's the deal?
What's the deal with hot plates? They're not really plates. They're these things underneath plates. That doesn't make sense, Doc.
So incredible. I just, I really could watch you do impressions all day. You should have like a live web stream camera so we get to, I know that's probably not good for the studios and all your NDAs, but so we could just watch you do voices all day. That would be incredible. Now, any projects that you can talk about right now that's coming up?
Sure. I've got a show on Fox called Grimsburg. I'm part of the guys over there. I do a lot of background voices and side characters that come in and out, and so you can catch that show. That's John Hamm's show on Fox. On Disney Plus, I'm the voice of Yoda for Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures. And then, of course, pretty much every week you can hear me as Joe Biden on Jimmy Kimmel.
Now, did they just send you a script and you record at the house, shoot it over to them, and you don't have to go into the studio?
Yeah, we'll go back and forth. A lot of it is last minute, so they will, come up with things and they say, we need this now because Jimmy has an idea for tonight. And, a lot of it is last minute. It's a live show as well, so they've got to get everything all sorted, and sometimes it's... I don't know if I'm on the show until 2 hours before.
Yeah. Now, I've been asking a ton of questions. We have a fellow thespian here in studio, Eric Starr. You probably saw him on Judge Steve Harvey. Eric, do you have any questions? Because you wanted to.
Eric Starr?
The Eric Starr, yeah. And
I heard of me.
Please, Mr. Starr. Mr. Starr.
He's working on your impression right now for Jimmy Kimmel, too, at some point. You've talked about wanting to get into voice acting and, acting. And, you've done some stuff. But voice acting in particular, do you have any questions for him that may help you on your journey?
I mean, I really don't because I don't know what I don't know.
Right.
But just, listening to you right now through this interview, you dropped like huge gems on, to us or to me at least already. just how close like acting and voice acting is, and how to mesh them both to create characters. And as I was listening to you explain that, like I just got this huge, like, I guess, what's the word? I had it in my mind.
Inspiration.
It goes very inspired and energized, and like, oh my god, I feel like running out of here and like creating a character right now.
Yeah,
and like just incorporate everything, all the tips that you gave.
Yeah.
If you have any other tips to give, I mean, I don't really know.
I would say, as much live performing that you can do, because animation is being about being animated. A lot of voiceover, the majority is animation, and right now, it's also video games are exploding, and video games is more cinematic acting. But if you wanted to go specifically into cartoons and that sort of thing, improv, stand-up comedy, theater, whatever you can do to keep working those muscles, because as much experience as you can get performing, you're gonna do very well. But also reading out loud. You work in the radio; it's fantastic. You get to improvise and discuss things all the time, but also work on reading. Take a newspaper and can you just read it naturally and make it sound like you're saying it for the very first time? A lot of people struggle with voiceover because they go in with the intention of, I gotta make this voice sound as cool as possible. I gotta go and sound like a really creepy. But the reality is, when you audition and you send in, and the casting agent hears 400 people go, my name is Smokeface.
My name is Smokeface.
My name is Smokeface. They shut off your clip.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this guy is crazy. So focus on acting above all. If you love actors and you love to mimic actors or just inspired by actors, see what they do, find the subtleties, be grounded, be real. And you've got to be yourself. Learn to be yourself more than other characters, I would suggest. Because it took me a long time to embrace that. I avoided being myself for so long that it was a struggle for me to get to that grounded place, because I would always, focus on other characters that inspired me and other people. But that's what they should be, inspirations. They shouldn't be who you are. Find who you are by performing. And that's the only way you are going to find out who you are, is by doing it.
Yeah.
Consistently. Every day.
Every day. You hear that? I'm giving you a lot of stuff to do
every
now, Eric.
second.
Yeah.
Every day.
Don't stop.
10,000 hours.
Eric, don't stop talking. Keep talking. Don't
Right,
stop talking.
yeah.
Don't
Keep
stop
talk-
talking. Keep talking,
Now
Eric.
we're going to shut the mic off, but you keep talking. Know that we're listening to you in spirit. Are you in LA or live in LA?
I am not in Louisiana. I am in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, California. I should have clarified. Well, next
Yes.
time.
I'm very offended, by the way.
Yeah.
Very offended. In this day and age.
I know. I
It's
should know
Los
better.
Angeles.
I should know better. But Eric and I will have to plan a trip up there. We had to take you out to eat. We hung out with Bowser last year. That was incredible. And,
fantastic. Eric's great.
yeah, we got him to perform Bugs Bunny for a bunch of strangers, and it was 5 people, but it was fun.
Where's my check, Doc?
Yeah, see? Let me ask you one last question, and we'll let you go. I know you're a very busy guy. Is there a character that you really would love to do that you haven't had a chance to do yet?
Ooh.
That's a good, tough question. I've come to relax on that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things come and go, but I mean, it's almost like a cliche thing, but I would love to be the Joker. Not because I want to do Mark Hamill or that sort of thing. It's just like, I think he would be the most difficult for me. Not because I was mimicking somebody else, but because I would have to work hard at finding a character that was unique and stood out. So I'd love to do the Joker in a way that I was proud of, where I'd be like, he's different than anybody that's been done before.
Oh, I just got
his
chills.
version.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know anybody, but if I ever met somebody, I'm like, oh, Bruce Timm. Yes,
Do you know Batman?
Yeah, Adam West. Oh, it's too late for that now. But if I meet somebody
Adam
in that
West,
world,
of course.
I will. Do you have an Adam West?
Of course, yes, the Cape Crusader, Adam West. And
That's incredible.
All those guys.
I love it because I love a lot of the old actors and old that's why I love Family Guy, because it's always like Seth is always going back, those writers are always going back to like things that no one else will get, like Hogan's Heroes or little bits like that Nobody today will understand, but we get all that. It's been a pleasure. Where can we find you on, like, what's the best place to follow your adventures?
Well, if people want to have the experience of typing out my name, you can put it on PIOTR, PiotrMichael.com. That's my website, and that'll have everything. But if people can't spell PIOTR, Michael.com, you can go to themixednut.com, and that'll go to the same spot.
.com.
Themixednut.com.
Awesome,
and,
man.
Yeah, that'll connect you to all social media and everything, and yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This is a lot of fun.
We got to have you back at some point. Like I said, Eric and I will plan a trip. We'll go to Los Angeles. Sorry, we'll go to Los Angeles, California.
Thank you.
I'm learning.
Can we edit that out? By the way,
2024 is the year of growth and learning for me, and I am going to make sure I do these things right. We will go there. We will buy you lunch or dinner, your choice. Chili's, Applebee's. You pick anything on the menu. The 2 for $2, yours. So
any place you got a free gift card to, we will go. We will go.
We also have a Groupon, so it even makes it cheaper for whatever appetizers that are not covered by.
Yes, and we will leave the minimum tip.
Absolutely,
minimum tip.
Absolutely,
we're not going to put 20%. It's a scam.
Exactly. So we're making a statement with our tip. Is what I say. But thank you so much. It's been an honor.
It's been an honor, and to quote my captain, we will. Wait a minute. Who said that? No, that was me. Yes, of course. I'm Ambassador Spock. We will live long and prosper.
Incredible.
You will live long and prosper. To quote my captain, now is the time to boldly go where no man or woman has gone before.